Have you ever wondered why our cities look the way they do, with skyscrapers here and sprawling suburbs over there? Well, it's no accident. For more than 100 years, some of the world's biggest dreamers have been on a quest to design the perfect city. Today, we're going to dive into that epic story and see how their grand competing visions literally built the world we live in right now.
You know, for most of human history, cities just happened. They grew organically, a little messy, a little chaotic. But then the Industrial Revolution came along and changed absolutely everything. Millions of people just flooded into cities looking for work, and those old medieval layouts, they just couldn't handle it. The system was pushed to its breaking point.
And when I say breaking point, I mean it was a disaster. We're talking about diseases spreading like wildfire because of terrible sanitation. The air was thick with pollution from all the coal and industry. Families were crammed into tiny, unsafe apartments. There was practically no green space and a huge, visible gap between the rich and the poor. This chaos created a brand new problem that needed a brand new solution and a new kind of hero, the urban planner.
Right, so out of this crisis, two big ideas emerged, two totally different philosophies on how to build a better city, and really a better life. One was all about finding order and beauty, and the other, it was about getting back to nature.
This was the big question that drove that first generation of planners. I mean, what do? Do you try to fix the enormous broken mess you already have? Or do you just ditch it and start over completely fresh somewhere else?
Ebenezer Howard? He chose to escape. He looked at the industrial city and was just horrified. So he came up with this pretty radical solution he called the Garden City. The whole idea was to build brand new towns from scratch, towns that would have the best of both worlds, all the excitement of the city, but with the health and beauty of the countryside.
And Howard's vision, it was incredibly detailed. This wasn't just some fuzzy dream. He had a precise blueprint. First, all the land would be owned by the public, so no one could get rich just by flipping property. He put a strict cap on the population, and he surrounded the whole thing with a massive green belt for farming and parks. The first towns that tried this, like Letchworth in England, really tried to follow his rules to the letter.
Okay, but while Howard wanted to run away from the city, an architect named Daniel Burnham had a totally different take. He was like, no, we're not running away. We're going to face this mess head on and make it magnificent.
Burnham's big idea was called the City Beautiful movement. He truly believed that civic beauty, grand buildings, wide-open boulevards could actually make people better citizens. He was inspired by this incredible white city they built for the 1893 Chicago World's Fair. The whole point was to create a sense of order and harmony through these massive classical designs. It was the total opposite of Howard's cozy, nature-focused towns.
Now, these weren't just ideas in a book. They were so powerful they went global. As countries were being formed or reimagined, leaders saw this amazing chance to define their whole national identity by building brand new capitals from the ground up, using these very philosophies as their guide.
Just look at New Delhi. When the British decided to build a new capital for India, they brought in Sir Edward Lutyens to design a city that would scream imperial power. I mean, it is a textbook example of the city beautiful idea. You've got this huge central axis, perfect geometric patterns, and these wide tree-lined avenues. The whole thing was designed to just impress you, to awe you.
And a project on this scale is just monumental. It takes decades. You can see here, the decision was made in 1911, and the city was still taking shape when India became independent in 1947. So yeah, building a dream city, it definitely doesn't happen overnight.
And this idea of building capitals from scratch really did go worldwide. In Australia, Canberra actually blended ideas from both movements, mixing the grand style of the City Beautiful with the green spaces of the Garden City. And then in the 1950s, you have Brasilia, which was literally created out of nothing in the middle of Brazil, a super modern city shaped like an airplane with different zones for everything.
Okay, let's fast forward a bit into the 20th century, because this is where we get the ultimate urban showdown. This was a true clash of the titans, pitting two of the most famous architects ever against each other, each with a completely opposite vision for what a city should be.
So the whole debate really boiled down to one question. How should we live? The architect Le Corbusier said, we have to go up. We need to live in dense, vertical towers. But the American architect Frank Lloyd Wright said, no way. We have to spread out and give every family their very own slice of the American landscape. Le Corbusier's big vision was something he called a city of towers.
He imagined these gigantic super buildings sitting inside huge green parks. His thinking was, if you build up, you can house millions of people really efficiently, and that frees up all the land on the ground for nature and parks. He actually got to put these ideas into practice when he designed the city of Chandigarh in India.
Frank Lloyd Wright's answer was called Broadacre City, and it was the polar opposite. He didn't even call it a city, he called it a landscape. His dream was this sprawling, decentralized America where every single family would have at least an acre of their own land. And you wouldn't be connected by sidewalks, you'd be connected by cars. It was a future built on individual freedom and the open road.
So these might sound like these old kind of abstract ideas, right? But here's the thing. Their influence is everywhere. They're the hidden blueprint for the world we live in right this second. Their debate never really ended. We're just living in the result of it.
And that is the key takeaway here. Our cities today are basically a mashup of all these competing ideas. We didn't just pick one vision and stick with it. Instead, we got a bit of everything, and you can see it playing out in the very bones of our towns and cities.
You want to see Frank Lloyd Wright's Broadacre City? It became the blueprint for the American suburb. That vast network of single-family homes, highways connecting everything, big shopping malls, that is a direct descendant of his dream to just spread out.
And on the flip side, Le Corbusier's City of Towers is alive and well, too. Just look at the downtown core of almost any major city on Earth. What do you see? A dense cluster of skyscrapers for offices and high-rise apartments. That is his vertical vision, made real.
So here we are, living in a world that was shaped by these century-old dreams. But our cities today are facing challenges that these guys could never have imagined, right? Climate change, the rise of remote work, huge technological shifts. The question they leave us with is this: what's the next great vision? What's our solution going to be for the perfect city of tomorrow? And who are the new dreamers who are going to build it?